Welcome to Wrestling with WorldWide Willis. This podcast is brought to you by the LMG Podcast Network. Now, you have probably noticed that I am not Brandon. I am not worldwide. Uh, I am local. I am Spenser. And Brandon is off saving the world, doing things, big things. He's got a lot going on. But we didn't think that that should deprive you of your weekly Wrestling with Worldwide Willis episode. So I am here guest hosting, and I am here with guests that you've heard before if you're a fan of the show. LaVeris is with us,
Yeah, I'm here. Not a review.
and Pat is with us as well.
I'm here. I think I got a couple hot takes in the backpack for everybody. I know that's why everybody tunes in to hear my hot takes. So
Here we go.
I do wonder. I'm sure that when Brandon returns, he will respond to whatever hot takes you have. So,
100%.
yes, Brandon will be back. So he's safe. He's good. No need to worry about him. But I can't really tell you what he's. It's G14 classified.
Yeah,
What he's got
but
going on.
but he's not dead though. He's not dead.
He's not dead. This is not an RIP episode.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, um, everybody's talking about it, so we're going to as well. Big things are happening in the business right now. Um, for some people, there's about to be a goat versus goat situation, perhaps. Um, Gentlemen, what do we think of the recent rumblings that have been happening in the business?
I'll start. I'll take this one to start. It's interesting. I think everybody wants Rock versus Roman. They gave it to us in a way of not burying Cody or pushing him down, but it's like, hey, we want this over you finishing the story. Where going back to last year, that's all people wanted to see was Cody finish the story, Cody win the title, Cody beat Roman, and now they he won the Rumble. It was like, okay, we're getting it again. And then what was it, the SmackDown right after the Rumble is when Cody comes out, starts to cut a promo, and then Rock comes out, and basically he's like in after Mania, and Rock comes out, so it's like, okay, we're getting Rock Roman, but the fans hated it. Crowd hated it. The fan, like, everybody was not for it, and it led to Monday. People thought he was going to challenge Seth. Fast forward to this press conference. What do they call it? The Super Show kickoff,
It was
something
the
like that.
WrestleMania 40 kickoff.
Right. And Roman comes, or Seth actually came out first. Wanted to call Cody Rhodes out for his decision. Roman comes out. Roman says he didn't get to make the decisions. I made the decisions. I'm facing The Rock. Rock comes out, cuts a promo about a family. Cody comes out, basically challenges Roman with some other details in there we'll get to later. But um, yeah, that's pretty much what we got out of that. And it was a yeah, part of it was a slap heard uh around the world. And now we're trying to figure out if it's going to be Rock Roman still at Mania and then Cody Roman at night two. But um, personally, I don't think Rock Roman needs a title. So if they can get the title off of Roman, then I'm all for it. I just don't think that match needs the title. But feel free to chime in, give us your thoughts.
I do not want that match for a title, and I don't want that in this WrestleMania at all. For one reason, that story, if you're going to do them two, that story has to be longer than about, what, 2 months? Like, if you're going to build this up, basically, you kind of build it up since Royal Rumble when Roman won it years ago and they booed the crap out of both of them. So it's been tinglings of that for years now. So I personally don't want them to face in WrestleMania this year. Next year, yes. To let that all simmer down, let it simmer because now you got Triple H could be involved for some odd reason, which if he can wrestle, I'm for it. But last time I checked, he almost died. So his heart
Uh-oh.
ain't all the way, his heart ain't there.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if y'all saw the little teaser for WrestleMania yesterday on YouTube. It made it seem like they gonna do a tag match with
I saw,
Cody and Seth and Rock and Roman. Like they sitting here looking at each other. Like, what is that about?
yeah. But they announced on SmackDown after that press conference that Steph's opponent was going to be chosen from the Elimination Chamber, which is going to be of guys from Raw and SmackDown, which is interesting because like they brand split and now they're not brand split for this. Um, and then I've heard that Seth Cody versus Rock Roman is going to be at the Elimination Chamber, so as a tag team match. But yeah, I don't want that. I don't. All this just to get a tag team match out of it is not what anybody wants, I don't think. I don't even mind having Rock Roman at SummerSlam, but it has to be a big four, obviously. But
Yeah.
even if it's not at this WrestleMania, I wouldn't be mad. I just think last year would have made more sense because it was in Hollywood and the Bloodline story was hot. That was the big thing
Red
coming.
hot.
Yes. And now it's just like it's kind of somewhat fizzled out. They've tried to keep it strung on going, but it's just not as big as it was.
This is the same thing they did when The Rock came back the last time when he faced Cena, where
Hmm.
him and Cena did that tag match against R-Truth and Miz. Then they wound up finding each other. So
Yeah,
you just saying that tag match, at the Chamber, I was like, okay, we've seen that before. Huh.
yeah,
I didn't think
yeah,
about that until you said that.
yeah. And I don't know if it's going to if Rock's gonna because now it seems like Rock's a heel, which in 2024 I don't want to see Rock as a heel. I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but I know me personally, like it's just odd. Part-timers, except for Brock Lesnar, are hard to come back as heels because it's like, oh, we haven't seen him in a while. We're glad to see him. We're happy to see him, and not, oh, we don't want this guy coming back. You know what I mean? Like Rock
Yeah.
has had that thing where whenever he comes back, he gives the fans a new chant to start chanting. It's always highly viewed. It's always like a big positive energy type thing. Like everybody's happy to see him, babyface reaction. So now it's like it just feels weird. It feels weird to me. So it'll be interesting though, I think. But going into the thing itself, Al, feel free to chime in and help piece things together. This is just the Rock, Roman, Cody, Seth thing. So like I
Hmm.
said, Seth came out first, cut somewhat of a promo, called Cody Rhodes out, but then Roman's music hit, right?
Right.
Roman's starting to cut the promo saying Cody doesn't make decisions, I make the decisions, I choose The Rock. The Rock's music plays, and it was very much of a mixed reaction.
Oh yeah.
I think you
It
had
was definitely
half
like
cheered,
mixed. Yeah.
um, which that's what you get now with the people with the "We Want Cody" stuff, and Rock cuts a promo where he calls some of the fans Cody crybabies, which was
That
hilarious.
is wild. And they gonna make shirts of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%,
I saw
100%.
I saw The Rock in an interview, uh, you know, in full The Rock character doing the whole Cody Crybaby thing.
Yeah, he was on Pat McAfee. That's what
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Pat
started
McAfee
the
show.
heel turn right
Yeah.
there. Because when he
Yeah.
did that promo, I was like, "Oh, you're turning heel." Okay.
Hmm.
It's reminding me of Hollywood Rock,
Yes.
and I assume that's what
Mm.
they're going for. But
Yeah, and it seems like it was a after the reaction that they got from the SmackDown promo, it flipped, and that's when they're like, "Oh, we got to do something." So yeah, The Rock comes out. They pull up a big picture of a family tree, which I've been trying to find like a clearer image of that to actually like go through it. So if anybody sees it, feel free to like send that to us somehow, some way, because
Yeah,
I want to
because
see
I
a
would like
clear
to see that
image.
too. I definitely try to
Yeah.
pause my TV and
Yeah.
like look at all
Yeah.
them people because they
I
definitely
couldn't.
had people that are not in WWE in there.
Yeah.
I
And people
saw
were
a
like,
few
"Oh,
names.
yeah." Like, and then people were like, "Oh, does that mean they're coming to WWE?" Like, no, they're just the legitimate family tree.
That's a
Um,
that's a lot of people too. They even
yeah,
had
that
Naomi
yeah.
in there.
that family tree is
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah,
Huge. And then I think it was like kind of towards the end of that, Rock and Roman do like a pose. It's kind of like, okay, this is the setup where this is like, I remember I was texting LaVeris and I was like, did Roman just dap Rock? Like, did they just dap each other? And because I kind of watched it, I was a little behind. And he was like, yeah, no, it was just for like a photo, like the bloodline type of thing. I was like, okay. So Rock Roman like kind of dap up, but more like pose for like the photo.
yeah,
Cody's music doesn't even hit. He just comes out and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Cuts a little bit of a promo. He's basically said that if Roman and Rock's grandfather was alive, he would be, what did he say?
he'll be
Ashamed.
ashamed. Yeah,
Yeah, he'd be ashamed. And Rock just slaps the mess out of Cody. And they all just kind of somewhat go at it. They obviously like they break it up or whatever. Um, but it was wild. It almost felt like a shoot press conference. Like they're like, we're gonna start something. It felt very UFC like to me.
especially when Cody came out. Cody came out like all guns blazing. I'm cussing. I'm like he started off cussing. I was like, oh, okay. Like we say we doing this now? Like
Yeah,
you say this not PG-13 no more? Like, okay, Cody, tell us how you really feel, dude.
yeah. He
Especially when
was,
he said that line about how y'all gonna be, how you the head of the table or at the table, but y'all haven't been cooking in 2 years.
bro. He said that, and I was like,
I was like,
oh,
oh dang, Cody, who you been hanging around with?
oh,
Like,
yeah,
what were these lines from forever ago? Like, okay,
yeah. Because before that, Roman had said something about Dusty, right? Or was it right after that?
that was after that. That was
After
after
that.
that because that's when he picked Roman. Roman got pissed and
Hmm.
started, dogging him out, talking about you need to be with the number two, basically being with Seth. And I don't like how they buried Seth this whole time. I didn't like all that.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I kind of get because it feeds into the Roman like tribal chief, like I run stuff, but
Yeah,
it's making that championship look kind of like a joke, and it's not going to help for the next people who win it.
all right. Yeah, because because Cody talked about, well, The Rock talked about, not The Rock, but Roman talked about Cody. That's why Cody said something about they family.
Yeah, yeah, because Roman has said something about Dusty, and then Cody was
Then
like, "You're
Cody
always talking
first
about
said
my
something about
family."
Jay.
Yeah.
You talking about you say you
Oh
want to
yeah,
talk
he's
about
like, "You're
family?
all
How's
about
Jay?
family." Yeah. I was like, "Okay, that's a shot, but not really a shot." But okay. Um, yeah, and then right after Cody said he'd be ashamed, Rock steps up and just that I don't know if I still don't think Cody can taste food. Like that's how much of the taste was slapped out of that
He
man's mouth.
like even like on social media when they freeze framed it, like he got all his cheek.
Oh, yeah. And like The Rock doesn't have small hands. The Rock's hands, he's Samoan. His hands are massive.
Yeah.
So
Then after
it
they slapped him, then they did that pull apart and start cussing. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
I'm like, you had me. Y'all got me. You
And
got me back in.
that's what I've been hearing is that like people that weren't invest like this got people invested. Like this has people watching week to week to keep up with all of the things that are going on and like looking for behind the scenes stuff and like stuff that's like people are trying to, catch everything because this has reinvigorated the whole feeling and it's made people want to know.
Oh, 100%. Me and LaVeris and Brandon all we have a group chat, and one of us always seems to be watching, and we're just like texting the group constantly. So, and then I know a couple times LaVeris has done it. I was like, all right, now I got to tune in and see what's going on,
Yeah, because
and
right
which
when
is
all this happened, I text both of them like, "Hey, like, it's Roman versus Cody," and they both was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah. I was a little behind, so he said that, and I was like, okay, I gotta fast forward. But the whole kind of not switching gears, but like the whole event though, I think was nice. Bianca's promo was kind of like, okay, I get it. Like they're promoting the new show with her and Montez, um, and kind of like she's always a big spotlight for things like that. But the other interesting thing to me was Becky and Rhea, because like, obviously, like Brandon's talked about it multiple times on the show. That's been the plan, I think, for probably like 5 months or however
yeah."
long. It was always to get to Becky versus Rhea. And so I'm looking forward to that because I think that's going to be a really good one. Um, and that so like it not only did it get you invested in whatever the Rock, Roman, Cody, triangle thing is, but it also Rhea and Becky and the whole card in general where it's like, okay, we want to see what the buildup is going to be this. So I thought they did a good job with it. Um, I don't know if it should be kind of a every pay-per-view thing, maybe just like the big four, or if they're gonna have big matches kind of thing. But it was interesting and something I definitely would watch again.
I think it'll only be a WrestleMania thing because back in the day they used to do this that kind of like a you know kickoff thing, but it was more like they all sit at a table and start talking type thing, like a it's almost like before the college football championship, how they start talking to the coaches. It was like something like that back in the day, but they only did it for WrestleMania. So seeing this spectacle, because that's what I thought I was going to see, was they all going to be sitting at the table talking, and something's going to pop off, and somebody going to get pissed off. Kind of how they always do the Saudi ones when they go to Saudi.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was going to be like that until I saw the stage. I was like, okay, what's all of this? Why? And I was like, this reminds me of UFC or some like weigh in at a boxing match.
Yeah,
So,
100%. And I
so
like how they had uh Cole and Pat McAfee and Biggie and CM Punk is kind of like that, like between things they'd go to
oh,
them and let them like push it forward. That was incredible. Pat McAfee is hilarious to me. It's one of my favorites.
I love Pat McAfee. CM Punk want to punch somebody in the mouth
Oh yeah,
so
he even
bad.
said that afterwards. Like they went down and Cole's like, Punk, what do you have to say?" And CM Punk's like, "If I'm Cody, you don't let anybody do that to you. Like you start punching people in the house," which is kind of funny because it's almost like they're poking fun at what happened in AEW, which is like that's not a funny thing. Obviously, the legal stuff that went on, but it's just kind of like he was just like, yeah, if people start slapping you and doing that to you, you got to punch somebody in the mouth. I was just like, that's from coming from CM Punk. That's great.
Then, like when they first started, Big E was like swinging already because he said to CM Punk, "I'm only here so you won't get fined because you
Yeah,
kind of out there, so just in case, I'm here to help you." I was like,
yeah,
"Golly, why'd you say that? Look, we just started. You already making jokes about this." I miss Big E.
yeah. Hilarious, dude.
Okay. Okay. Lot happening. Um, I have not been keeping up with everything, so this is all news to me. Like I knew the big pieces, but all of the details, you know, I too might have to, tune in and see what's going on.
Now, the one thing too that is kind of hidden in that whole situation, like even after the kickoff, when they was talking to Triple H, then Rock was basically telling him, "Hey, you better fix this, or or I will." After like this whole time with that kickoff, Roman, I never seen Roman look so small.
Mhm.
So that's one thing to kind of pay attention to when this is going down. Ever since this, Roman has been the secondary person.
Yeah,
That's something to kind
yeah,
of pay attention to,
yeah.
storyline wise, because
And
he might trying to take over, and I think that's where it's going to turn for
well, and
both
that's
of
what
them too.
That's what I thought that like I was under the impression like whenever The Rock first came back, like early. But matter of fact, even before he came back, I thought that the whole thing was going to be that The Rock comes in and claims to be the rightful head of the table, the rightful tribal chief, and that's going to be the rivalry that he and Roman have. Like that's going to be the thing that starts it. And so in that situation, yeah, like The Rock's goal would be to make Roman feel like, second fiddle or whatever. And so I'm wondering if that's on purpose, if that's the strategy, if they are trying to use that. And then eventually Cody's going to come in and say that, Roman is playing, second place behind The Rock and, create some division or, something. But that was what I thought from the beginning. Like whenever they talked about The Rock coming back, I just knew that it was going to be about the whole tribal chief thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think
that's what I think too.
yeah, I think that's kind of the line of thinking. Like The Rock hasn't come out and straight said it, but I think people in general just kind of like put that out there on their own, and so they're just kind of running with that. But because I think during the press conference, I think Rock might have alluded to it, or he may not have. Um, it was more so just like, hey, we're two parts of this strong family, big family bloodline, type of thing. But it was never like about who was the true head of the table.
And
Um,
I was kind of wondering what I guess I didn't understand the dynamic between The Rock and Roman right now because it sounds like they're on the same side currently.
Yeah, and that's what Cody even said. He was like, "And what is this anyway? Like, what are y'all doing?" Because he even said that. Because I was thinking the same thing. Like, okay, besides the said, like y'all gonna have to get upset with each other. Roman don't want that to go away. Like, and I think storyline wise, this is why I said when I text Pat and Brandon, like, this is long game because he kept saying that, and all these little interviews, Rock kept saying long storytelling, the long game. I was like, okay, I'm paying attention because you just said this 3 times now.
mhm.
So that's why I was like, okay, you're really trying to spread this out for all of this. So
And if
that's why I was
that's
like, okay,
if that's the case, then it sounds like we don't know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Because if they're playing the long game, this is not that. If they do go at WrestleMania, or at least I
right.
don't. At least it doesn't seem like it because The Rock I feel like hasn't been back for very long.
No,
Right.
like he kind of basically came back, yeah, on the day one of Raw,
So
Yeah, I
right?
think
Yeah.
yeah, there was a time before that because I remember it was like early college football playoff or college football season
Oh,
because
when it was in
they went in
Colorado.
Colorado, yeah, and it was just like a SmackDown appearance. It was kind of like a one-off type deal.
yeah, I think he just
Yeah.
happened to be in Colorado that day.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he was doing college game day, and yeah.
yeah. But then before he was on Pat McAfee's show, and they asked him a question about like, hey, were you supposed to have a match at WrestleMania with Roman? Like, how did that not happen? Or if it was supposed to happen, what happened to like why did it fall through? And just like different stuff like that. And The Rock was like, yeah, we had talked about it, we just couldn't get anything worked out. And so I at that point, I wonder if that was planning to seed to the now, because that would kind of be long term. But
Yeah.
I wonder if they're even going to push it forward. I don't think it can go all the way to next WrestleMania because, like we said before, the bloodline thing is kind of standing on half a leg right now, and I don't know if it can make it another year. And Roman's already said that he's pretty much done being full time here
Yeah.
soon. And now, if he loses the championship at WrestleMania, then they can 100% probably get there. But I think SummerSlam or the next Saudi show is when it would have to be. We'd have to get that match.
So, and maybe I'm just, a terrible person, and maybe I'm not paying enough attention. But you mentioned that Roman said he was not going to be full time soon. Has he been full time? Because I'm pretty sure he hasn't been wrestling like at all.
Homeboy
No,
been part time for like 2 years.
That's what,
yeah,
like
but like even less than that though. Even less than
Yeah.
he is.
because
Like, yeah,
I feel like at one point I was seeing Brock Lesnar more than I was seeing Roman.
Yeah,
you were.
yeah,
And I'm like, so Roman is the champion and just ain't here for anybody to try
yeah,
to fight him for it.
yeah. Well,
That's why
it
we
takes a
have
while to
Seth
get
championship belt right now.
right. And that's the other reason why the fact that they're like making that number two and like putting it down is just like, well, Seth's been here.
I've
And
seen Seth been doing stuff.
yeah,
Seth been working.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, I Roman, I it's funny that he said he was gonna go part-time. It's like, no, you've been part-time for a while now, buddy.
yeah. Even
Right.
I think it's gonna be even more. Like it's literally gonna be two or three times a year. It might that schedule already might have kicked in, clearly, but
Right.
And a part-timer having the belt long term just doesn't feel right.
not anymore. No, yeah,
Not
that's
anymore, no.
the territory days. It kind of was like that, but only because you only saw the guy when he came into your territory. Like he was defending it
Yeah.
multiple other times.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like they were defending it multiple other times. That's not the case with Roman. Like,
No,
when was the last time Roman's title was on the line?
I think WrestleMania. No,
This past
was it
Royal
against?
Rumble,
Against who?
before well, they face each other. Well, Royal Rumble, he did that fatal four way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Before it
okay.
was Royal Rumble, and then I think
Now,
before that against LA Knight.
before that, I don't
Was it LA
I don't
Knight? It was
know.
LA Knight before Rumble.
What pay per view was that?
I
Was
think
LA Knight Survivor
this,
Series?
Was it? Oh, you got me.
mm,
I don't even know.
Well,
maybe.
all I'm saying, like in a year, like let's say in the last 365 days, Roman has defended it max 3 times. Is that what we're saying?
Maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's that's once a quarter. That's wild. Like I don't. I feel like I mean, and maybe my memory's bad, but I just feel like there should be more defenses than that.
That's why Seth been saying what he been saying
All right.
because he's barely here.
Yeah, and it's like if you're not here, nobody can even shoot for the title because you're not here.
Right.
But
Now
okay,
the
Crown
thing
Jewel.
is, did they? It was Crown Jewel.
Yeah. In when was that? November?
Really? That's right.
yeah.
Because they had that press conference and everybody was going crazy for LA Knight. That's right. Now do y'all think this was the whole plan the whole time, like where we are right now, or did they pivot?
Um,
As as far as this WrestleMania being the one where The Rock comes in,
or that we got Cody versus Roman? Because
I
people keep saying one thing or the other.
th I think I think before they found out CM Punk was hurt, it was Punk Roman. So pretty much all along been Punk or been Cody Roman. But when they found out that Punk was hurt, then they were going to put Rock in and have um Cody Seth, and then the reaction they got from SmackDown pivoted. So I think within the span of a week, it changed twice.
okay. I don't know enough of what's going on, but it feels like The Rock and Roman is something that has been in the stars for a while, and
Yeah.
it feels like it didn't happen when it was supposed to, and now they're attempting to force it.
Hmm.
And the people are furious about it, from what I can tell. Like
Yeah.
the whole the fact that The Rock is calling people Cody crybabies, and the fact that um because I don't remember the last time I saw the entire community and like the entire fan base this against the upcoming thing and the decision that's being made, especially with the people involved. And I'm
The
sure it has
la
happened, but
Yeah, Daniel Bryan, I
I'm
think, was
about to
the
say
last
Daniel
one.
Bryan.
What year? 2014 or 15, I
I was
think.
gonna
Was
say that
that?
was
Yeah, it was
10 years
20.
ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about 2014, I think, with him and Batista and Randy Orton.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so like it seems like it doesn't happen often, but yeah, like the crowd for the fans to be this adamantly against it is something that I haven't seen a lot of. And it makes me wonder what's going to happen, just because The Rock is going to do what The Rock wants to do. And, he might say, fuck the people, I do what I want. Um,
He is on the
but
board.
yeah, I'd say,
Yeah,
but
he has
also
a.
Triple H might say, I I'm not about to risk losing this business. And at the end of the day, the fans are who we do this for. And I don't want to lose a bunch, because depending on how this goes, there could be people that say, all right, I'm out on WWE entirely.
Like it was people that I've seen like on social media about to sell their tickets to WrestleMania that they already bought because of that decision.
Yeah. Like I know that it's compelling television, and we're all tuned in to see what happens. But yeah, I think there are some people that may be pissed off enough to say, I'm out. And I'm wondering if that's a risk they're willing to take. And I really wonder, mainly because Vince isn't in charge anymore. Because I feel like Vince is just gonna do what Vince's plan is. But because Vince is not running things anymore, I'm wondering how that will affect what ends up happening.
Yeah, I think some. First off, kudos to WWE on these fronts. Is one, hearing the fans, noticing the reaction, and two, coming together and saying, "Hey, probably should flip some things here. They didn't like where we were going with that. Let's switch gears back to how we were going to do it, or switch gears to something different to where Cody's back in the picture." And then also, like you mentioned, not having Vince there, I think is huge. Obviously, he had to have some say in when Daniel Bryan did it, but I think if Vince was there, it would have been, they don't know what they're talking about. This is what I want. Like he would just full steam ahead, try to push that thing through a brick wall.
All right.
Yeah. And and again, that's why I'm wondering how this is going to go. Because with Vince not being there, I wonder how much reacting to the crowd the company's going to do.
I think they're gonna do a good bit because obviously like the crowd is that's the audience, that's who's buying tickets, buying merch. Like so they're gonna do it a little bit, but I think if it's to a point where it's like doesn't make sense. Like obviously, every time a crowd says we want so and so, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, let's do this with them, you know. But
Yeah.
in this instance, it was enough bad reaction that they're like, okay, we should probably listen to them.
Like the video on YouTube, like they were saying has like over twice as many dislikes than likes. And they follow those numbers a lot business wise. So they definitely are listening this time around, especially with Triple H at the helm. Thank God.
Okay. Okay. So, if it were up to you, who is taking the belt off Roman?
Oh, that's
Cody.
tough. That's tough. See. All right, here we go. Strap in.
Oh, dang it,
Did
man.
I set you up for a hot take?
You
Golly,
did.
here we go.
Well, I don't even know if it's a hot take. So yes, I would love for it to be Cody, but I would also like for that to be something that um what's for not necessarily builds, but sets up a new star. Makes a new star. That's what we're moving from. Makes a new star. So like LA Knight didn't need it. AJ Styles obviously didn't need it. Randy didn't need it. But like I don't even like Sammy doesn't even need it. It was like somebody hot coming out of NXT, like a Braun Breaker, a Carmelo Hayes, like somebody like that that they need to make and say, hey, they're the real deal. This is who is next in line to take this company forward. That is who I would prefer, and I think it would help a lot better because it's been what a 5 year title reign, um 20,000 plus days or something. I'm exaggerating numbers here, but like it's felt that long. So somebody conquering that, almost like Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker at WrestleMania, which should have been Roman Reigns, but
It should have
that's
been
neither here
Randy
nor there.
Orton if it was going to be somebody, but I could talk about that all day long.
Yeah, it definitely should
Um,
have. Yeah.
that could be another podcast topic is who should have beat the Undertaker streak. But
Nobody,
anyway,
because he's the GOAT, but whatever.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
There you go, right there. Because yeah, I was pissed when I saw that.
But that whoever beats Roman, it should be somebody who it will help become a star. Obviously, like just beating Roman is not gonna be like, all right, you're good to go now, kid. You don't have to do anything. Like, who's somebody who's it's gonna be able to do it and also maintain that level. So who
I'm
that is,
actually
I don't know.
I'm a little surprised by that because normally most people have to like go through the gauntlet, like they have to work their way up to, or they have to work their way through other belts first before they just get to the top one. But it sounds like you're saying that whoever gets it should just be like
To the
like
moon.
yeah, like similar to uh I mean just okay. Um Not quite, but I guess kind of how like nobody knew who Chris Hemsworth was, and then he's Thor, and now he's one of the biggest stars in the game. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Like you can have them winning kind of the other titles, but like when they eventually beat Roman, it should be the final brick of their castle. And like, okay, like I'm here. I'm the next generation. I'm the one who can like every time they cut a promo, like Paul Heyman did with Brock Lesnar, for like a year afterwards, is like the one in 21 and one who conquered the streak. It would be like I'm the first one to beat Roman Reigns to, end his streak to take the title off of him type of thing. Um, but I just don't know who it would be right now, and I think Cody's the only logical choice because you're not going to have Cody trying to finish his story for 3, 4 years. And the way they set it up, the only one that makes sense to do it off of is Roman.
Especially when you got the dang WWE 2K24 game taglining finish the story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's their tagline.
Yeah.
Because I may or
Okay.
may not pre-order it. I don't know yet, but that's
Still
on.
thinking
I'm
about
thinking
it?
about it.
I'm
Yep.
still thinking about it.
Definitely thinking about it. The GMO would be fun with
Yeah.
with us. Liv Morgan to the moon, Brandon. This is for you. Liv Morgan to the moon.
Oh gosh, you gonna give him an aneurysm?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you'll give him something to talk about when he comes back. Because I'm sure he will have plenty to say about, this whole thing. So, okay. All right. I don't know. Um I'm not as tapped in, so I mean Cody is I think the easy answer. Because Cody's been, climbing this mountain for a long time. And he's I mean he's one of uh I guess the biggest baby faces that we've seen in a long time. And Cody's been around for like even back when I was watching wrestling, like Cody was definitely like so Cody's been around for longer than I probably realize. Like
Yeah,
it's been at least 15 years maybe,
something like that.
like if not longer. Cause yeah, I remember when Cody, Randy, and DiBiase I think were a little group.
Hmm.
The legacy.
Legacy, yeah. There was a
Yeah.
Samoan in there with them too towards the end. I think it was like Manu or Mamu or something like that.
I remember
So,
that.
but yeah, like that was, I mean,
Yeah,
Cody's been around for at least that long. And
yeah.
so like he's been working on this for a while. And I mean, I think he has shown that he's got all the pieces. So, I don't know. I mean, do you want them to go in like a somewhat predictable direction and just make it happen, or do you want to be like shocked and surprised by what ends up happening with not just with Cody, but with Roman and the belt?
Hmm.
Oh, that's a good
I
question.
yeah, I would obviously like everybody likes to be surprised and just like that's what keeps people coming back and tuning in again. But also like if I just want to know that Cody's gonna win it. Like if that's how they're gonna set it up, let Cody win it. Because at that point it's just like I think people will start giving up on Cody if they don't. So I would much prefer the predictable Cody's gonna win it, and then you know we go from there. My only thing is after that is Cody. That would have to be night two. So the Rock turn would have to be at Elimination Chamber. Roman Rock night one, non-title, and then Roman Cody for the belt. Or Rock beats Roman night one, Cody beats Rock night two.
Okay.
I think it could be a mixture of both. Like it can be predictable so we know he's gonna win, but they also can create a swerve to have us thinking he ain't gonna do it. I think The Rock can turn on Roman night two, and then Cody get the belt.
Because that's what I like in my head. Yeah, like it's Cody versus Roman, and we know that Roman typically wins by cheating. So
Right.
The Rock comes in. Roman is like, "Oh, glad you're here, family and all that." The Rock turns on Roman. Cody wins, and now The Rock and Roman have beef, and it's legitimate beef that has nothing to do with the title.
Yeah.
But we can see them just go for however long.
Yeah, that would actually make sense. And then that would be able to help it go to the next WrestleMania because that's what they did with kind of with John Cena the first time was I don't know was I think it was like 28 no 27 yeah 27 Miz Cena in the main event Rock cost Cena set up their match that was that like year long um promo of it and like the build up was that for a year and then WrestleMania happens Rock beats Cena. You have Cena sitting on the stage, on the ramp, like all sad, and then they can do it again the next year. Um, so that could work. And since Roman doesn't like to appear on television and whatnot for up to 6 months at a time, it'd be perfect for him to be able to lay low.
And I think honestly that Cody has been this is Cody's plan this whole time because he keeps saying that, I've been speaking to people and speaking to people. One of them was him, was The Rock. So maybe this has been his grand plan like the whole time against Roman. And we're just playing along until the time to pull the trigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Because
could see
didn't
that.
didn't The Rock and Cody shake hands at one point, or did I just make that up?
Yes. No, he
Yeah, that
shook
was
hands when he told him, like, hey, I know somebody that can basically take everything from you. And that's the thing he said. I want to take everything from you.
yeah, and
And
that
I
because
know somebody that can.
that was the moment that uh Cody said, but not at this WrestleMania. And that's when everyone was like, "Oh, we're getting Rock Roman at Mania," and people were pissed, and then they had a 180 flip it, right? That was that same.
Yeah. And when you said that, I just thought about that. Like, he never said, you know, when he's talking about take everything from you, the reason he said that is the belt's not even the thing that he holds dear. Is
Mhm.
being head of the table is what he holds dear. And that's when he said, I want to take everything from you. And I know somebody who can.
Yeah, yeah, long game.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like it is good storytelling.
Boy,
Like if that's what
Yeah,
this is gonna be, like if that's what we're
yeah,
doing, yeah, this is
yeah,
this is good stuff.
yeah. That's good shit.
So yeah, it should be a good time. I may have to tune in just to see, what happens. But yeah, I think I mean it's hard to say whether or not they're cooking right now because I almost wonder if because there's a lot of outrage, of course, behind the whole thing, but
yeah.
I almost wonder if that's a part of it because at the end of the day, people are talking about it. And, people being mad at the whole possibility of The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania and all that, like that, for all we know, that's a part of the plan to get, buzz going and to get people talking about it and to get people watching to see what ends up happening. Because
Yeah.
I know that this is bringing in a lot of people who weren't watching or who were kind of inactive part-time who were part-time wrestling fans or part-time wrestling viewers. This is bringing some of us in there. So I imagine viewership numbers are high because while the video had a bunch of dislikes, that's still engagement.
Yep.
Hmm.
And so it still means that many people watched it.
Yeah,
So yeah, honestly, this might be an example of like all publicity is good publicity, and as long as they are talking about you, then you're making the right moves. So yeah, I there's so much I wonder, and
yeah.
it's making me think I might have to tune in to see what the deal is because I'm surprisingly interested.
Oh yeah. And this is like you mentioned, the part-time thing is because the WWE has been the same way for so long, and obviously like they know it, most of the fans know it. People start tuning in for WrestleMania around this time, like around Royal Rumble, around, January, February time. And so WWE knew that. So one, they had this happen, and then like, okay, we this is where we get most of our viewership, so we need to fix this, get it right. But they've hooked with this just a storytelling. And like I guarantee you probably not all the way half, a good majority potentially are going to wind up sticking around past WrestleMania now because of this, because they're going to see, okay, is this just going to be from now until WrestleMania, or is this something that we're going to see all year round now?
All right.
Okay. And another question, just in case they do decide that Roman Rock is gonna, move forward, has there been a significant feud between part-timers, like two people that are part-time before? Because usually it'll be somebody who's like in the game, who's on the way up, or who's already at the top, versus a part-timer from the days of old.
Yeah,
Oh,
towards the end of Undertaker's career, he had that thing with Brock.
That's right.
It was like
Yeah.
a two pay-per-view thing, but other than that, I don't think so.
No, no, I can't
Well,
think it. Not on this level. No.
yeah, because this was
No.
like I don't know if like it's even a thing. But if Roman has said like if he's mentioned part-time, then it makes me wonder if The Rock Roman is a possibility in the future at all.
I think it is. They have to at this point. There's so much buzz that like eventually I think they're gonna have to give it to us.
And I mean future like beyond like well beyond WrestleMania. Like if they are playing the long game. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think
definitely happening.
I think SummerSlam might be the latest they'll go with it.
okay,
Um, unless they
I'm
give
pretty
it
sure he got
they
some kind of movie he got to do.
yeah, so like that yeah, that's the only thing. Like Roman they could probably like they're fine with, but The Rock is one where it's like I think they have him in this time. I think it's gotta happen.
you got to
If
use him while
not,
you got him.
right. If not, it's like if there's a big Saudi show or something right after WrestleMania, that's when it would happen. But I think it's already been carved out. And so now it's like, well, we gotta figure out something now.
Okay. All right. Because, I mean, the only other option would be that The Rock like disappears again, and then the next time he comes back, uh, he's
Yeah,
feuding with Roman. But who knows? I don't know what's gonna happen. But
we'll find out. Stay
it,
tuned.
yeah, it's got me
Right.
like thinking about being invested. But okay. I'm sure that Brandon tells you where you can let us know. Brandon always wants the smoke, so if you have opinions, if you have feelings about it, then you can hit him up, I think at Worldwide Willis. And, you know, all the LMG podcast stuff, we're available. Just let us know. We can talk about it. But as is the case with every episode, today we do have a top five. And today we are going to be talking about our top five match types. So, as I'm sure you know, as wrestling fans, there are a bunch of different types of matches, and we're going to be doing our top five today. So, um, Pat, I'll have you start with your number five top match
Like
type.
this. Okay, so my number five is one that you don't see often. It's really kind of a one. Actually, my whole list of five is gonna be geared towards one particular wrestler minus one of them. Um, but this is one that this particular wrestler didn't make famous. A group of them did. It's kind of what got me into um like one of the first ones I remember watching is TLC. And I think anytime I either get somebody back into it or like just want to show somebody in general like, hey, this stuff is pretty cool, you should watch. I always show them the TLC with the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, and nine times out of ten it gets them hooked. So TLC when with the right people and done right is one of my favorites.
I
Okay.
agree, and that's what I have as my top five as well. And the only reason I have it at five is what you just said, the right people. We haven't seen
Hmm.
the right people since what? Yeah, Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and Hardys. We haven't seen it like that since.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably true. Um, okay. Okay. My number five is Elimination Chamber. I do. I remember I think this was the first one, but I remember the first Elimination Chamber. Shawn Michaels won the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
that's the first one. So I think Booker T, Chris Jericho, Kane, Triple H, and somebody.
It wasn't, I think Goldberg was this that second year they did
Yeah.
it. I don't
I
think it
remember
was the first
Goldberg being
one.
in one of them.
Yeah, and I remember Randy Orton being in one of them, but I don't think it was this one. I think it was too early for Randy Orton. Was it RVD?
It might have been,
Yes.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
when he almost killed Triple H.
Yeah, because
Yep.
he kneed Triple H
Getting
right in the
right, yeah,
throat.
right in the neck.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I remember that. And the whole like concept of Elimination Chamber was interesting to me. It was, fun to do on the game whenever they introduced it in the game as a game mode, but yeah, like Elimination Chamber, it's one of those things where when they came up with it, it felt really innovative, but like it's kind of just a combination of stuff we've seen before, but that's okay. It was it was good enough to become its own event. But
Right.
yeah, I really liked it. I and when I think about Elimination Chamber, like I think about like almost them releasing Kurt Angle and him just taking everybody to Suplex City. But because yeah, I that video will just randomly pop up in my algorithm. Like it'll just be Kurt Angle just like, oh, you're next. Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Kurt Angle just giving it to everybody. It's great. So yeah.
That's a fun one. That was one of my honorable mentions.
Okay.
It's such a fun match type. My number four is casket match. It's one we don't really see it often anymore. We don't really see. I think at one point it was like a coffin match, maybe like
I feel like
early-ish years.
I only know it as a casket match. Or
Um, it
yeah.
was one of my. I think one of my favorite ones was Undertaker Yokozuna SummerSlam 90s,
Yes, I'm
mid
not gonna be able to give you the
90s.
year, but like
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like wheeling it took like a bunch of people to put Undertaker in the casket. They're rolling it down the ramp and Undertaker just like comes floating out from the Tron
Yeah.
after he appears on it and like wakes up, and then at the end of the promo he like floats from the top of it. When I was little and watched it, spooked me, but now it's like kind of almost funny because it's like, okay, that's a little overboard, but yeah, man, I like casket mats. We need to have more of them.
I mean it's one of those things that's pretty specifically and directly tied to the GOAT. And it's gonna be
Yeah.
hard to find like a way to do that because they've tried to redo The Undertaker and it hasn't been successful.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's a character, it's the person playing it. Like it's
Well,
just
yeah.
as one of those I that worked the best in the 90s and before social media and like, you know, it's you gotta stay in character for something like that.
Yeah. Like he
Yeah.
stayed in character for like decades.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. The only time he wasn't in character is when he finally went to the American Badass, like that whole the bandanas and motorcycles,
Oh
and
yeah.
he just got to be, a big dude from Texas.
Hmm.
Right.
And
He
he
got to
like
be Mark
kept
Calloway.
yeah, he kept some sprinkles of like he went from being from Death Valley to being from Houston.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, whenever he had the Limp Biscuit, like that was
Yeah.
pretty much the only time he was able to move away from it. But I think that allowed him to keep some elements of all of it as he moved forward, because even when he came back as like really came back as the dead man, he still had, some of those things incorporated into himself. So I I like that he evolved and, was able to keep pieces of every version of himself as he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't his last one against I was about to say his AEW name. Rusev?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was like towards the end. I think it was in Saudi.
Yeah, it was a Saudi show.
Yeah. I
Has
remember that.
there
I almost forgot about that.
has there ever been a casket match that did not involve the Undertaker? Because I feel like
Hmm.
he's been in every casket match.
It might have been in a different promotion,
Okay.
like not
WWE,
WWE.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Because yeah, like when I think of cat, like I think of that as his match, like that and Buried Alive, like those are
Oh my gosh,
specifically
yeah.
Yeah,
the
Those are
hold
Undertaker.
on. We'll
definitely
talk
him.
about that one later. Keep
Got it.
going.
My bad. I didn't want to, do any spoilers. LaVeris, what's your number four?
My number four is shout out to William Regal. World Games. That's my
Oh, I didn't even think
that's my
about that
number
one.
four. Like
Okay.
having two rings together with the cage on top of it. You can bring a weapon up in there. Like, what? How many people is it? Like 4 to 5 on each team. Then nobody can pin each other until everybody's in there, and the crazy stuff you can do in there. Like all the matches since they brought that back. Shout out to Dusty for that.
Mm,
Like since they
R.I.P.
brought it back to WWE, is been it hasn't been a bad one
Mm,
since they brought it back.
I agree.
Okay. Okay. Um, I feel real basic with my shit now. Um, my number four, I don't know if these are different, but I use these interchangeably. A hardcore match and or a street fight.
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier.
Mm.
Because that's kind of one of my honor. I have a bunch of honorable mentions, but that's one of them. And I was like, I feel like they have like it's a street fight, but there's always like different versions. Like you have the Viking Raiders now do um what do they call it? It's like a Viking something match. They
Oh
do
yeah.
different. Yeah, like the Brawling Brutes did like a Donnybrook match, which is basically a street fight with certain props. Like I think they're all street fights, just different names with like little twists added to them.
Okay.
But I like that one though because it has like an element of realness and like when used right, like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, I think to this day is the best feud that used a street fight because like they made it personal and they built it to where it's like the only way we're gonna be able to do this is with no rules in a street fight.
Yeah. I love the street fight, yeah, because and this is another like street fight where falls count anywhere.
Hmm.
Um, because yeah, I used to love in wrestling games taking people backstage and just messing with all the shit that was available back there. And
Oh
so
my
100%.
gosh.
the idea of, the fact that these matches, A, you can use any weapons that you want, and you can fight anywhere you want. Like whenever me, Brandon, and Roy went to Raw, we saw that Shinsuke and Ricochet had what I feel like was a hardcore match because they were fighting all in the crowd and like they were everywhere. And it was great. I loved it. No, was it first blood match? No, it was maybe it was a tables match. I don't remember.
That's when he jumped off from the crowd, right?
Yeah, maybe it was a
Oh,
tables
Yeah,
match.
I think it might have been just a no DQ match.
Yeah, I don't remember what kind of match it was, but the fact that they were able to move around and just like the fact that they were in the crowd and the involvement of anything you want and anywhere you want was always like that always made for a very entertaining match where it was unpredictable. Any number of things could happen. Any number of people could get involved. Like you literally couldn't predict how the match was going to go. Because the possibilities were literally endless. And I always enjoyed, like even though since I was watching from home, like I loved seeing them like backstage, having a match. Well, there are people doing things. Like there are people with like headsets on trying to work and
Yeah.
like do their job. And then, oh no, this giant man is flying at me because they're in the middle of a fight. And yeah, it was always just they were breaking into people's dressing rooms and there were cars involved. Yeah, like it was just a wild time.
I want to figure out what to
man.
do to be an extra in one of those, and like I will just stay at the table doing what I'm supposed to do while they're fighting around me. Like no fear, just let them do what they gotta do. I want to just sit and continue working. Like I'll figure out how to sew and just like pretend I'm sewing something.
Just be
And then,
crocheting while they're
yeah, as they're just like fighting and throwing stuff and just like oblivious to it.
it'd be great.
Like your table will break and you still sitting here doing the same thing.
Yeah, just
All right, so
Oh,
number
that'd be
three.
funny.
3 for me, as mentioned already, but the buried alive match again is a theme to
Yep, and I love the theme. I support it. I'm sure you
um
know.
he's the GOAT. I
The goat.
very much agree. So that it's been I think one other person has been in a buried alive other than without Undertaker being involved in it. Um, but it's just
One
one of
that,
those. It's just like
oh,
it's basically a street fight, except instead of pinning your opponent, you have to bury them alive in dirt, and it's just comes from the Undertaker. The Undertaker's the best,
Yeah,
so this is another
and
one of
that's the
my
thing.
favorites.
Especially if you don't like when you're young enough to not know that it's staged. Like I was like, oh my God, he's dead.
And then the
yep,
hand comes out.
Yeah, like I was concerned.
yeah.
So yeah, like it was again, like just good storytelling.
Mhm.
My turn.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Number three. Now, the amount of times this has probably happened, I'll have to look this up. I only saw maybe 2 or 3 times this happened. My number three is the 3 stages of hell,
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
which, depending on the order they did it, which usually was like a street fight, then a ladder match, then a cage match. Basically, a
Mhm.
2 out of 3 falls, but it involves those 3 type of matches. I think both of them that I've watched, Triple H was in both of them. Because one was Triple H and Stone Cold, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
I was like, I only
Yeah.
remember one. I think I only remember the Triple H Stone Cold one, but I don't know if I knew there were more than one.
I can only remember 2, and when I looked up, I only saw 2 on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's only 2. I think there was like another version of it, but they didn't call it Three Stages of Hell. It was like something else, like more PG.
They probably
But
did like 2 out of 3 falls
yeah,
Yeah.
with stipulations.
with stipulations. Will he get to the third one?
Yeah, duh. Like they're not
And
just
they
gonna set up.
always make it to the third one. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
well, I say we going to this third one,
yeah,
so this cage is above us. It has
yeah,
to come down soon enough.
yeah. It's gonna be 1-1.
yeah,
We know that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
like how we gonna get there?
okay, okay. My number three, a classic, Hell in a Cell. Um, you know, the goat
Yep,
had a lot to do with that.
yep.
And this is
He
another
killed a
like
man.
he did. Good
He had
God
to break
Almighty,
it in
that killed him.
half.
That killed him.
Good God. Yeah, like that whole that was so good. As God is my witness, he's
Like,
broken in half. Like,
yep. And Kane debuted at the first one. Like the first 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches is just so much good came out of it. It was
and that's the
masterful.
thing. Like, the Undertaker is one of those people. Your big ass don't need to be up there.
Right. And he even
Man,
told
like
Mick Foley
watching
that
that
too.
back now.
Yeah, Mick Foley, Rikishi, like these are
Oh,
large men.
yeah.
And the Undertaker, yeah, he had them all up there, fucking them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
putting
forgot he killed Rikishi too.
he did, yes, send him straight to hell. Like it was
That's
wild.
wild.
But yeah, like
So,
Hell in a Cell was another one of my like favorite game matches. So like I'm
Oh man,
absolutely getting on the top of that cell.
and breaking yep.
All 4 of them. There were in some games there were 4 different like middles
Yeah.
that you could put them through. Somebody's going through all 4 of them.
Yep.
yep.
I used to do a thing like I wouldn't pin the guy until I broke all of them.
Oh
Correct.
yeah,
That's the
most
way to do
definitely.
the match.
Yeah, that's the rules, right? That's
Yeah. Like you can't the match isn't over until you go through all 4 of these.
yeah. It was
And sometimes it would suck because you would fall too, depending on the move you did. Like both of
yes.
y'all ended up down there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or just you because
Yes.
the finish did like you set it up perfectly, but the way the finisher like actually happened, you wound up falling through and you so you had to just get up and do it again.
Yeah. Because yeah, there
right.
were a lot
Like,
of times, yeah,
oh,
like I'd do my finisher, but it would like turn me 90 degrees in the animation.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like it was me that ended up falling. I was like, Well, all right. Guess I'm gonna
Gotta
make my
get
way
another
back
one.
up there.
Yep.
You better stay up there because I'm coming back up
Yeah,
there.
don't leave. Yeah, be still. I'm coming. So yeah, but yeah. Hell in a
Fun
Cell.
fact with
Oh, good.
is the first I thought Mankind Undertaker was the first Hell in the Cell. It wasn't until I think I was in like middle school, maybe high school when the DVD set, the Hell in the Cell DVD set came
Yeah.
out, and I realized or found out the first one was actually Undertaker, Shawn Michaels at Bad Blood. I was like, oh,
Oh yeah,
did not
Okay.
that
realize that
was the
because that's
first
when
one.
Kane debuted.
That's when
Yep.
Kane
Yep.
came out. Yeah.
See, and I guess I thought that Kane. I thought that was a cage match. I didn't realize that was Hell in a Cell because I remember Kane ripping the door off.
Yeah,
But
it's Hell in a Cell.
yeah, if there was a door, it had to be Hell in a Cell. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. That tracks.
Um,
All right, number
that
two.
was that
Oh,
was
okay.
actually my number two
Oh,
was
good.
Hell in a Cell. Yeah.
Because the goat.
So again, yep, on brand. All the reasons we just previously mentioned. It was such a fun concept. Except, do y'all remember when they did the red cell
Oh, that was so stupid. That was
that looked like the McDonald's play place?
I
oh
don't.
gosh, I
I
was so
don't remember
upset when they did that. Oh, I was so
Good.
upset when
You're
I'm
one of
like,
the
can
lucky ones,
we?
Spencer, because that was
that.
That was bad. Then when
like,
they did that, they had this freaking theme and Seth Rollins, and at the time they had all the lights was red
hmm
during this match with the red cell.
yeah. Oh yeah, when he faced the
So
Fiend, I remember that. Yeah,
yes, that was terrible because you couldn't see anything
yeah.
because everything was
Defeated the
red.
purpose. Yeah, it was the worst. It was the
The
Oh,
worst.
that
Yeah,
cell
was
that was
the
so
cell
that was
didn't
bad.
my
need to
number
be
two.
red because the lights were red. That's
Well, it
okay.
was just weird that the cell was red in the first place. I know it's
Yeah,
supposed to be hell in the cell. Hell, is red and
Yeah.
all that,
yeah.
or
They,
supposedly.
yeah. I guess they thought it was gonna be better for like TV purposes, like for the cameras and nah. Nope.
That was terrible. I'm glad they
Wrong.
went out of that. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, that's my number two. What you got, L?
my number two is the Royal Rumble.
that is also my number
Hmm.
two, so we can just talk about it.
Okay.
Like, it's one of the. It has its own pay per view for a reason. 30
Yeah.
people go in, one comes out. You go to WrestleMania. Like
Uh,
then you got all the surprises.
yeah, you
Who's
never
gonna
know
come
who's
in
coming out.
next? Yeah,
Yeah.
like this year, freaking you got Jade popping up. You got
hmm
what's her name from
Oh, from TNA.
TNA,
Yeah.
Jordan Grace.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Like that was not on my bingo card that she
Right.
popped up. Like stuff, you never know what's gonna happen. Or at one time, what Kofi gonna do to get back in the ring?
What is Kofi gonna do? I love those niggas so much. They're every time they come
Hilarious.
up, every time they come up, I'm like, I love the New Day. They're just so good. And yeah, Kofi is just I'm has he won a Royal Rumble?
No,
It's disrespectful
Yeah.
that he hasn't won a Royal Rumble.
At
Like
some point before he retires, they need to give him one just for all of
just
the
give
stuff
him
he's had
one.
to
he's got to win a Royal Rumble. Yeah,
like.
and because yeah, like every I've seen four different times he didn't touch the ground
Yeah,
because there
there's
was
been a couple times where he has, and the referees are like, no, 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 he's good. He didn't touch. He didn't.
yeah because there was
Especially that last one. Like if that camera
Yeah.
didn't show it, they could have got away with
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah. 100%.
because I know there was like the 1 foot with the pancakes.
hmm
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
there was the handstand one.
Oh man. And
There was when
they
Big E
levitated
caught
him
him on his
above
shoulders. Yeah, like there was,
hmm
yeah, there was. It was wild, and I
in the
loved all of
chair
them.
thing. He did something with the chair.
Yeah, like he bounced in a chair with wheels. Yeah, all of it was just ridiculous, but it was great. And I mean, even another one of my favorite moments was when Santino got eliminated immediately.
Oh yeah.
Went right out.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, do we count the greatest Royal Rumble in that? which is when they did it. They did it at the
When they
Saudi
did it
show.
in Saudi,
Yeah, and
and they
that's
got
when
and
Titus
Braun Strowman
O'Neil
got a
went.
belt for it.
Yeah, which he hasn't defended, but that's neither here nor there. But Titus O'Neil fell coming down the ramp and went underneath the ring.
Right under that sucker. The Titus slide.
I think
Spencer,
that
if
I think
okay,
my algorithm has shown that to me.
Like
okay,
he could have killed himself right there.
yeah, because that was
Like
right
any
when they started
inch.
doing the yeah that was right when they started doing the video board aprons, and they're like, good thing that they didn't do it that night because like he would have shortened himself by like 3 inches.
Like he
Ugh.
can even like when he went under there, it was a bar like right there. He
Hmm.
would have definitely like head first right into it. He was lucky.
Okay.
But I don't know. I would have just for that reason with that whole belt situation. I wouldn't count that
No. What about the 40 man? Do you think they should try to do the 40 man again?
No.
for what pay per view.
Just the Royal Rumble itself, like another 40-man Royal Rumble. They have a roster
No,
for it.
I
No,
No?
know,
you can't
but
do
I
that.
don't want them to lose the mystique of a Royal Rumble.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
like the Royal Rumble is one of those. It's like let's just like it doesn't need to change. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of set up the way it needs to be. It's good the way it is. It's a good vehicle for people to randomly come back, whether they
Hmm.
do it for one night or whether they're like back, like that is their comeback. Um,
Yeah,
it's because again, I should not have felt this, but when Edge came back,
Oh,
it got me.
yeah. That I felt something that I was like, oh gosh, am I
yeah.
about to
I didn't know
tear
I
up
could
because of
feel
this
those
man back?
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he
So
came, yeah, that got me.
Yeah.
and yeah, like I mean, there
Agree.
are just like there are so many great Royal Rumble moments. Um,
Hmm.
I remember when Too Cool was in the ring and they did the
Oh
little
man,
dance, and then Rikishi got them both up out of there because,
yeah,
Yep.
of course, they weren't gonna win it, but yeah,
Right.
like, and then Rikishi was like, "Hey, that's the game." Like, that's yeah. So that was yeah. There's so many great Royal Rumble moments. Um, back when we were working from home, Brandon and I would kind of just like pick a year and watch the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
wow,
So
that's a good idea. I like that. We used to do like guessing who they come out next. And so like once it hit 10 seconds, you gotta like make your final call because like throughout the time, so from between time of entrant 3 coming out and 4 coming out, you could like go back and forth. But like as soon as it hit 10, you gotta give like your final thing. And that was always fun to see who got the most right.
yeah,
Um,
I
so
like that.
yeah, Royal Rumble was always a fun pay-per-view.
Okay, all right. So number one.
All right, so staying on brand, we're gonna wrap things up here, nice little bow. It only happened a few times, but actually, I think it's more than that now. No, it's still only a few. The Inferno match,
I knew Inferno was going to be your
mm.
number one.
kind of hit with the trend there. It was between that and then TNA did a match that was called Lethal Lockdown, where it was almost like a War Games type of feel, but it was just one cage, one ring. But once everybody was in the ring, they would lower the top of the cage, and that had like weapons and stuff hanging off of it. Um, so that was really cool. But yeah, it was between that and then the Inferno match and that, and I had to go with the Inferno match just because it's like it's a rare thing, and again, it's fit to one person, and it was also had that real effect. Like they're gonna burn them up. Like
Somebody's got to be
somebody's
on fire. Like there's no way around
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
you.
somebody's going to have to catch fire real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and unfortunately, I think Kane got it. Was it twice?
yeah,
Did they
twice,
run that
at
twice?
least twice.
At least twice. Yeah,
And
Yeah,
then it
because
was Kane and MVP, and
yeah, I think
Kane let
MVP got it that
MVP.
time.
Yep. And then I think most recently it was what Randy Orton and the Fiend that did it, and it was like a whole like
And Randy Orton don't wear enough clothes to be in a
yeah.
Inferno
That's why I was
match.
like,
but that time he did.
Of course he did.
yeah.
That's the only thing you can do. Like,
Because
right?
that wasn't that match when Alexa Bliss came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and like at the end of it, Randy Orton like
Yeah,
lit the Fiend on fire. It was during
yeah.
COVID. Yeah, it was during COVID when they did that. Random. But I like the Inferno match. That was another one that when they had it on the game, I think it was only like one or two games. I played that match type quite often.
I don't. I must have because I don't remember being able to play an Inferno match on a game.
They
It was
didn't
like
have it on too
20.
many games though.
No, I think it was like the last year was like early 2010s, and then I don't
Something,
think I've
yeah.
seen it. Yeah, I don't think I've seen
I
it
haven't seen it
since.
since.
But yeah, I remember really enjoying watching the Inferno match because you could hear like the gas whistling for the
Hmm.
fire, and so like anytime
Yeah.
anybody got slammed, it was really fun to watch. Um,
100%.
and I imagine because I mean it's easy to get sweaty anyway, but it had to be hot down there.
Oh
I wonder
yeah,
what the
that's one of
crowd
those.
felt like in the front row.
I
Like,
was about to say, like, I would not have wanted to buy a front row seat to that, knowing that there's about to be fire 5 feet from me. No,
Actual fire, like
yeah, not pyro fire. Like,
no
I mean, it was pyro
flames.
fire, but it was like
Yeah,
constant. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it was just on,
Yeah.
and it would have random bursts. So yeah, like
Hmm. Yeah.
it got hot in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh man.
hell, what do you got?
Oh boy. I went through this in my head even when y'all were talking just now
Punjabi
about
prison
these.
match.
Hell no.
Oh,
Almost said something else.
you're allowed to cuss
I
on this
would
podcast.
say, huh? Say
So
what?
you're allowed to use profanity here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's about to be a string of different words. I don't want to get this whole thing canceled. Um, I'm gonna go with Money in the Bank.
Huh.
Okay.
Like, are we talking when it was at WrestleMania or now as a pay-per-view? Because to me, it's two different type. Like, obviously, it's the same match, same concept, but like, it had a different feel when it was at WrestleMania than it does as its own pay-per-view, if that makes sense.
That's true. I'm talking about before it was a pay per view
Okay.
because all the because they starting to the last couple they started to kind of give you that feeling, but the whole cash out thing always jacked me up recently. But back then, it was great because you had basically a whole bunch of mid carders that was flying around about to kill themselves in these matches. You had like what Shelton, Kofi, you had Chris Jericho, and a few of them.
Ric Flair was in one of them.
Yeah, Ric Flair was in one of them. That was
At
weird
like
too. Like,
68 years old, took a bump off
yeah,
the top of a ladder.
yeah. Well, so what you taking bumps for, man?
Ric Flair's
But
about it.
that's yeah, he is about that though. That's true.
He wants to have another match.
He needs to stop.
He needs
He's
to
gonna
stop.
die.
Someone needs to talk to him, sit him down, have an
That's the
intervention.
thing. Ric Flair could either die right now or live forever.
Nobody knows. The man's
Nobody
So
kicked
knows
out
but
at
him.
two like 3 times now.
Yeah. Like what was that? 2 years ago when we thought we was gonna lose him?
Yeah. And then I think it was a little more recent than that. Was it not like about a year? No, I think that might have been because it was 2 years ago, and then it was like a year or so before that. It was like emergency surgery type thing. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Ric Flair's
Yeah,
gone,
that
and
was
then
something
next thing
like
I know,
that.
he kicked out, and he's
yeah, like, and that's the thing. It's not gonna be like where we know it's like. It's just gonna happen. Like Ric Flair's
Mhm.
just gonna wake up dead one day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and there's not gonna be like he went to the hospital. There was
Mhm.
some complication. No, he's just gonna wake up dead,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it might be in 50 years. Who knows?
It might be in the middle of a ring.
Yeah, like this. I don't know what's gonna
Did y'all
happen.
ever see that match he had? That
No. Not like for my safety and his, no.
like I saw it on YouTube. He could have died there too.
Yeah. And the man
It
wanted
was so
beer.
much blood.
The man wanted beer after the match instead of like Gatorade and water
Instead
to
of
like,
help,
yeah,
so he's like, "No, we're not
Like
gonna hydrate. I
yeah.
like
I'm
let's get
going down with the ship.
Yeah, let's get fucking wasted.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm Ric Flair, damn it. Like I
Oh
don't think
god.
he knows now. He doesn't have to play that character the whole time. Like
I
at
think
some
he's
point,
locked in. Like,
yeah,
I
at
don't know
some,
if that's fit a character.
yeah, he's locked
yeah,
in.
I don't think
That's
so
what it
either.
is now.
I think he just like, you know what? This isn't gonna be a character for me anymore. I'm gonna be this person.
Yeah, this is me now. Like,
He doesn't.
this love
Yeah.
me for who I am.
Because back in the day, like, yeah, like that was just who you were. Like there was no
Hmm.
separation from like real life and character. So no, that's just who he is.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Ric Flair, he's
How did we get off on Ric? Where did we get off topic on Ric
oh,
Flair?
we're talking about Money
Because
in
he
the
was
Bank.
in the
Oh, the Money in the
match.
Bank. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, with that, I had a question. So, A, what was your favorite Money in the Bank match? And then B, what was your favorite Money in the Bank cash in?
That's double-sided. That's loaded.
My favorite winner, and I'm biased, was Big E.
Black History Month, yeah.
Yeah. Like, cause they was teasing him. I was like, come on, of all these people, come on, it got to be him. Come on, you don't separate him from New Day for him to flounder.
Yeah, exactly.
So that
Okay.
was my favorite one, but that wasn't my favorite cash in. Which, of course, was my favorite cash in was Seth against
Oh,
Roman and Brock when he basically the heist of the century. And that's the one of the ones that he actually had a match for about 5 to 10 minutes when he cashed it in against Brock and Roman, which you don't see anymore because somebody's laid out, then they have the 2 minutes and they pin him. He actually was in the match for a little bit before he got the belt from him.
yeah.
So
Because
that's my favorite one.
as much as I hated it, I think my favorite might have been Edge.
Hmm. His first one with Cena when
Yeah,
he.
yeah, his first one. Because I was like, oh, I hate it. But
Oh, that's
that's
when
what you
Vince
do.
came out. When Vince had to
Yeah,
okay it,
after
right?
Elimination Chamber at what was it New Year's Resolution or Revolution or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's when he
yeah,
was a rated R superstar too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
With
with
Lita.
Lita.
yeah.
Oh boy. Mm. Rated R Lita might have been one of my favorite Litas.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet. I was so mad about it.
Hey, they
Because,
celebrated it though. I'll tell you that.
They
yeah,
surely did.
indeed. Oh, God. Yeah. What a time. They really put a bed in the ring.
They did.
They was really in their underwear.
Yeah,
Just, oh, God. That was,
that's when Cena turned heel. Is when he interrupted that.
yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man.
that's so, what a time. Like, that really
It,
happened.
Yeah,
that's how Vince's mind worked. Or yeah, that's a whole other
yeah,
situation.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's leave that one
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah,
Yep,
we're gonna
that's
leave that. We're
we're
gonna leave
not
that where it
we're not
is.
gonna go in that direction. Editor, let's edit that one
Yeah.
out.
I feel like every time I might have to mention him, I might have to say allegedly, or so
Yeah,
we won't get in trouble.
Yeah.
yeah. Give him the Voldemort treatment of he who shall not be named.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't they call him that or say
I think
something like
so.
that when they had the
I think so.
podcast?
I mean, yeah,
Because they didn't
he,
say his name. They just said, yeah, they did say that. He who should not be named.
Yeah,
okay.
They didn't bring that podcast back, by the way.
facts. That was hilarious. Good stuff.
Yeah. Um, okay. So my number one, it was mentioned earlier, um, the TLC. But you're right. Like I didn't think about how integral to the match that it's the right people in that match because I just think about the Hardys, the Deadlies, and Agent Christian. Because they did it right every single time. But yeah, the incorporation of all of those things in a match, just and what the men involved have to put themselves through for that match to happen is it's impressive. It is just a wild time. And for those of you who don't know, I assume if you're listening to us, you know what a TLC match is. But tables, ladders, and chairs. So it's a ladder match, but also there are tables and chairs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And chaos.
yeah, there are people falling off of 20-foot ladders regularly.
Yeah. Through tables.
Yeah, through tables, sometimes from the ring, sometimes from the ring to the floor, through multiple
Oh
tables at a
God.
time.
Yeah.
Like it is
Or falling,
Yeah.
jumping off of a ladder to land on another ladder.
yeah, because Jeff Hardy's a crazy man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why all six of those guys, one, there's only four of them currently wrestling, and two, their bodies don't function like they once did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we all see why. Like you yeah, the what they did for us, what they did for the viewers, they might say it was worth it because those are memories that I will have with me for the rest of my life.
Yep.
Um, maybe this is a hot take, but Edge and Christian should not have won those matches.
Ooh.
Nope.
Ooh, hot takes?
Like
I didn't want that to happen either.
it shouldn't have
Mm.
been no, it should not have been Edge and Christian. Like I am kind of still unhappy about it. But whatever. That's the
They
past.
won both of them because
They
there's
won
one.
both.
They won
They
both,
won
right?
both of those suckers, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was more pissed the second time. Because the first time I was like, okay, I don't like it, but whatever. Yeah, that second time I was ready to start throwing shit. I was not happy because they were I I didn't like them, but then also of the three tag teams, they were just the weakest one in all of the
Yeah.
Right.
ways. And I'm like, why are these dudes winning this? Like, what are we?
I I think that's how what they needed to win it though, to put themselves up. So that way it's like it makes sense of why we're
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
That was
I
probably
just
one of Edge's best spears
Oh,
was
it's
when he
his best
speared
Oh,
spear.
Jeff Hardy.
Period.
yeah.
It's
On
his
Jeff
best.
Hardy from, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the reason that I have any respect for Edge doing a spear because all of his spears are soft, they're gentle.
Yeah. Well, after
Um,
that one, like he almost the way he like put himself into the mat like head first, that's probably why he's the way he is with the rest of them now.
yeah, he protects himself when he spears.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
Right.
yeah, I get it, but like you need to retire the spear Edge because your spears aren't good.
No.
And after that one, you can retire it. That spear and then the one of Mick Foley through the table
Oh
on
yeah.
fire, like those two,
Yeah.
after those, you're good. You don't have to
Yeah.
do it anymore.
Yeah. You're
Right.
good. Yeah. He hit Cena with a couple good ones like early in their rivalry. Uh
Yeah.
um but yeah, I think it's like twofold. It's one Edge giving in and two whoever's taking it
Yeah.
Yeah.
that like they have to also do a good job of making Edge look good with it because
Well, and
I mean,
I
and
think
I don't blame Edge. He's got half a neck.
yeah, and that's the thing. The other people that did spears, there was no work that like when I think of Rhino, when I think of Goldberg,
Rhino's got a nasty one.
like
Oh
that's
my
the
goodness.
those you didn't
Yeah.
have
Those two right there,
all
though.
you had to do was relax your body and you let the man doing the spear take care of it.
Hmm.
So maybe that's why Edge's spears were so weak because everybody else who does spears, they don't need the help. They just yeah, like you as long if you go limp, you're fine. Like it's
Hmm.
gonna look good. If you try to like tense up, it's gonna be bad for you because that man is charging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Goldberg. His stuff
Oh
look
yeah.
like you playing football right now
Yeah, and that's like with
Yeah.
with no
Goldberg,
pads on.
both people's feet were off the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Even if
he
they
took
didn't
him
want
off
to
the
be.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no help in that. That was just Goldberg flat out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not
Goldberg,
like when Roman does it, when you see the little jump
yeah,
when Roman does it.
but that's the yeah, like they didn't need the help. So, and I think that's why Edge's spear looks so bad is because we had Goldberg and Rhino, and
Yeah.
Hmm.
those two, yeah, that's those two were monstrous. But anyway, that's Edge's spear to Jeff Hardy while Jeff Hardy was hanging is still one of the best spears that has ever been executed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And one of my favorite swantons was Jeff Hardy on the Bubba Ray from the ladder onto the table,
Oh,
but
from
like
that tall
Jeff,
ladder.
yeah, like Jeff kind of missed two
Yeah,
and almost. I mean, anytime
almost
Jeff
died.
Hardy jumps off of something, that's been like 12 times in his career so far when he's jumped off
Yeah, that
something.
man
But
has put his body on the line for us.
For the
And
pop.
that's the thing. He is sacrificed. Like he's not right. And he never will be. Like
because of that,
he's never gonna just be normally functioning because
Didn't he
he's a
jump
crazy
off the
man.
Titantron?
Yep.
yeah, onto Umaga, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I think that may have been the one where he like shrugged his shoulders and
Yeah,
like it's like if I die, I die.
yeah, he's just like, this is how I go. This is
Yeah.
it.
I'm going off a script real quick. Let's get it
Yeah,
done.
And that's the thing. That one, it wasn't even really a swanton. He just kind of like fell off and rolled forward.
hmm
Yeah. Let's see if I connect this.
And that's how you know how much or not actual swanton it was kind of determined how like dangerous it was. Because there were a lot of times he was like, I just have to focus on landing on my back.
yeah,
And those are the times when it was not a swanton at all. It was just kind
Yeah.
of like a rolling. He just kind
yeah.
of
You're like,
rolled forward.
ugh.
Because there's
Yeah.
been a couple times, like just off the turnbuckle, he's done it, and like it takes a while for him to like find like turn all the way over, and I'm like, is he gonna turn? Is he gonna snap his neck? Is he gonna turn? Okay, he's flipped. We're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You made it. Yeah. Because off the turbo, like he does like the whole like spread out, like making it an actual swanton. But yeah, when he's up high
Yeah,
enough, it's not a swanton. It's just
yeah.
he doesn't even jump. He just kind of like
He just
leans
falls
forward.
over.
Yeah.
For the longest time, that was the only way I would do a front flip was basically a swanton bomb.
Yeah.
I
It
was
makes
like,
sense.
I had a trampoline growing up. I'd scare the mess out of my friends because I would. That's how I would front flip, and they're like, "Dude, what are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean? I'm front flipping. What? I don't understand."
What, what's the problem? Why are you
Yeah,
worried?
does not everybody do this?
This is how you do a front flip.
Yeah, do you guys not watch? What do we?
Like, how are you landing?
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, I still can't do a backflip because I know I'm gonna break my neck. I just know it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'll
And
do
so
one into a pool. That's about it, but not very good.
yeah, like there's fear in my heart and I know it. So yeah, I just won't do a backflip. So
Yeah, you
um
won't catch me in a TLC match. I can tell you that right now.
that is correct. I'm not doing it.
Mm-mm.
But all right. So just let's just review the top fives real quick. And then if you still have some honorable mentions, we can talk about them.
Okay.
So what was your top five?
Um, TLC casket match, buried alive, elimination chamber, or not elimination chamber, Hell in a Cell, Inferno match, and then honorable mention, War Games and Lethal Lockdown from TNA. Since we weren't company specific, I was like,
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
like like I said, the Lethal
My
Lockdown was lit. Like that, the roof coming down. Jeff Jarrett was in it a couple of times, so like there was a guitar hanging from the roof, chair, a table. Um, yeah, great. I highly recommend watching them.
I say I
yeah,
haven't
you gonna
seen
have
that.
me
I might
have
have
me
to
watching that.
yeah, I might have
Yeah.
to check that out.
Yeah, I definitely gotta check that one out for sure. You said that was in TNA, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'll see if I can find it and send the link.
Okay. So you said top five. Mine was TLC, War Games, Three Stages of Hell, Royal Rumble, and Money in the Bank. Now my honorable mention was Last Man Standing.
Hmm. That's another good one.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the
Especially
variations of the street fight.
right. Especially that one against Roman and Kevin Owens, where
Yeah,
it looked like that legit he should have won that. And I think they just messed it up
yeah,
with the handcuffs.
yeah.
Or even the one with Ciampa and Gargano, where it was
Oh,
like a
dude.
split second and he won. And
Yeah.
Gargano won.
I think that was one of my favorites because that was the one during COVID, right? And they did like kind of like a type thing.
No, that was before. That was before COVID because they still
Oh,
had the
really?
crowd. Yeah,
Oh, that's right, because that was in okay. The one they did during COVID when they went to like the factory and Candice LeRae helped Gargano win. That
yeah.
was that a last man standing or was that
I think that was one of those where it was like,
no holds barred type of thing? Or unsanctioned?
oh,
Unsanctioned.
unsanctioned. That's the one. I was like, it's one. Yeah, that's what it was because they didn't want them to do it, and Triple H was like,
Hmm.
y'all shouldn't do this and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my definitely last man standing. Was that was right there with that and the Money in the Bank for me.
It's a good one.
Okay. My number 5 was Elimination Chamber. Number 4 was a street fight or hardcore match. 3, Hell in a Cell. 2, the Royal Rumble. And 1, TLC. Honorable mention to a standard tag match because I loved tag team wrestling, but also coming in on a hot tag, like
Oh yeah.
that was always a good time. Um, and not necessarily a standard, but like I guess a multi-team tag team match, maybe
Oh yeah.
like triple threat tag team match or more. But yeah, like that was always because when I'm a kid, I'm like, be faster. What are you doing? Like he's right there. Just
Yeah,
make the
just go.
tag.
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah, like oh, that's slow ass crawling. Like come on, like let's
Yeah.
get. So yeah, like but yeah, like coming in on I know now, like that was the point. But yeah, like you see somebody come in ready, it was always it was literally a game changer. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was always a fun time.
There's a I'm sure you've seen this with the tag team matches, like a house like a live show. Um and Undertaker like briefly breaks character and he's like going up back and forth on the apron trying to like get the hot tag. He's like
Mhm.
trying to pop the crowd out. That was one of my favorite like Undertaker character break moments. It was in that. It was a tag team match and it just made me think of it.
Yeah,
But
because he doesn't break character often. Like he's
no.
notorious for not breaking character. That's a part of why
Yeah.
he's the GOAT.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that he was able to hold it together when everybody was trying to break him.
Yeah.
Especially when they all
100%.
trying to do that dang spinneroonie.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's one of those. Yep.
that was a wild time.
Vince does it.
Especially when you had when you had
Or he who shall
well,
not be named.
he shall not be named. Try to do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Classic.
yeah.
One other one that somehow none of us mentioned, and I just thought of it now. The I Quit match.
Yeah.
I thought
There's been
about
a
that.
there's been a couple good one of those. One of them, Rock Mankind. Mankind has his hands handcuffed behind his back, and Rock's just like nailing him with chair shots.
Oh, I remember that.
Dude, Mick Foley's come out now and is like, yeah, that probably better ways we could have done that, but like in the moment, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
And
give it to me.
Mick Foley's another person, like he has put his body through it for
Yeah,
this company.
yeah,
And
And
he
I was
won another match.
it's like y'all honestly, y'all didn't make enough money for what you put your body through.
yeah. Especially back then. Like nowadays, probably could have. Back then, like no,
No, absolutely
100%
not.
no.
Um another honorable mention for me was a first blood match
Mm.
because yeah,
Yeah,
with first blood like whenever they did bleed, it was always a lot of blood.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
That's John Moxley's every match for
Yeah,
John Moxley is first blood.
that's his Tuesday.
Yeah, that's just the main event of Dynamite, basically,
Yeah.
every week.
Oh, when we wrestling? Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah. I remember the press conference when they asked MJF if he was mad he didn't go on last. He was like, and roll around in John Moxley's blood? No, thank you.
Because you know he's bleeding.
Oh yeah. It's like when Goldberg used to hit his head sometimes, like in the locker room doors he's coming out and he would like bleed a little bit. It's
Yeah.
like John Moxley, that's just part of his pre-match prep now. I'm convinced. It's just like, All right, let me get the cut started. It's wild.
Let me go ahead and blade myself real quick.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So glad that you could join us for this episode. Shout out to Brandon. He will be back. So you can let him know how you feel about all of these things. Let him know that you miss him, that you want him back. I did the best I could, but again, I'm not worldwide. I am local. And so yeah. Pat, thank you for being here. Elle, thank you for being here.
Of course. We miss you worldwide, Brandon.
We miss you. He's not dead, people. He's
Not
not
dead.
dead. But we do miss you.
I try to keep my hot takes subtle just for you. Just kind of keep this episode calm.
Yeah, we didn't mention almost. Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, there it
go.
is.
We did.
Yep.
There it
And
goes.
We almost made it out.
we did.
Almost.
But all right. Until next time, we out. Yeah.